Starship Rogue, my secret weapon, as you can see here, currently sitting on 14-4 with a 78% win rate. We're going to take a closer look at the deck. I've got a few key callouts, and then we are going to do a deep dive into some gameplay. General game plan for the deck, basically the same regardless of the matchup that we're in. In the early game, we're going to be playing for tempo, looking to start building our Starship, and then as the game continues, we're going to be looking to launch our Starship and just overcome our opponent with the big minion that we've been able to create. Couple of key callouts for the deck, Deja Vu, as well as the Nightmare Fuel. These cards really just allow us to be able to find some additional value, thinking about the Hagatha Shaman matchup that seems to be so popular on the ladder right now. It allows us to generate extra value so that we can fight in that value matchup, not fall behind our opponent, and really just go on to win the game from there. Similarly, we have Mirex the Crystalline, same thing. Likely we're just going to be copying a very powerful Battlecry minion. Again, thinking about that Hagatha Shaman matchup, something like a Hagatha Slime or a Shutter Block. General Mulligan for the deck, we're going to look to keep Starship Schematic, Scrounging Shipwright, as well as Elise the Navigator. Up against Druid here, it feels like Druid is just always shenanigans based these days, but still looking for the same stuff. Starship Schematic, Scrounging Shipwright, and Elise the Navigator. Against Sosuke Sagara. And we'll at least get some information here with the Deja Vu about what we're up against. And seems like a pretty easy take on the Zen Ashari here. So we do kind of know what we're up against with our opponents. They're just going to be looking to copy lots and lots of minions. Gravitational Displacer is going to be our copy. We're just going to try to make lots of big starships here. So we'll get this down at some point. I think I want to weapon, not super concerned about shuffling the Cultist map. Do kind of wish it was something else, but guaranteed to draw 2 off of this. Just want to go ahead and swing. I want to break the weapon as quickly as possible and draw 2 cards. Next turn, we likely just go ahead and get down this copy of the location to start getting ready to copy our Starship pieces. So pretty straightforward game plan this game. We just want to make really big starships and launch them. Pretty much the same every game, though, with this deck. It's actually just surprisingly effective. We'll have to see what we can do here. Just going to swing and draw 2 cards. And we hit Elise, as well as the Exodar. So, I don't know, kind of in a good shape with the copy location, but we're going to need other Starship pieces to really get this going. So, a little bit slow so far with this particular game. Just going to go ahead and Elise. And I think I'm going to take the 5-mana location. There is possible merit to the 1-mana location, just in terms of tempo. I think I will take the 1. We'll take Discover a Spell and summon a 1/1 copy. Next turn, we're going to play the Displacer. We're going to copy it. Following turn, we have a 1-mana copy if one of the 5/4s does live, and it's looking at least somewhat likely that one of the 5/4s is going to live. So lots of copies of this is going to give us lots of Starships, but again, we're just going to need to find some of these other ways to generate Starship pieces. And Exodar already in hand to launch for pieces. We do hit a Dimensional Core. So we're just going to go ahead and copy our big boy and push face. Not overly worried about what the 1/2 is going to do here, just going to push a little bit of damage. Our Starship is going to get big in a hurry, though. One of the things that we're going to want to keep in mind is launching with the Exodar for damage. But next turn, it looks like our opponent is going to be potentially copying a minion as well here. See what comes of that. Starship Schematic, I like it. And Biopod is going to be really good for us here as well. And the question is, what are we going to copy? Is it going to be a 5/4 or is it going to be a biopod? I think the answer here is just we copy the biopod. And I'm actually going to shadow step the Elise. Am I, though? I was thinking about shadow stepping Elise just to make room for another Starship piece with this dimensional core. But maybe it's bad to just remove our 3/5 from the board, so kind of deja vu. They do have a blob of tar. Just going to take the damage here. And then we're going to push face. So I'm assuming that our opponent is going to play the blob of tar and copy it with the Zenashari. In which case, we may actually be able to just like trade everything, launch the Exodar for damage, and win from there while their copy location is going to be down. And we do see the blob of tar. And we do see the copy. It's going to be important to note that I do have the ability to be able to prep out the 3 damage here. See if our opponent's doing anything else with their mana. The 2/4, pretty good for him here, though. We may actually just be launching for Starship pieces. But that will give us a lot of stuff on the board. Definitely want the biopods to die, and really these to die as well. Opponent gaining quite a bit of life here. 7 mana next turn. I think we're definitely going to prep for the ebb and flow. We can actually even just copy an additional minion. And I think that actually is just going to be an additional biopod here. Copy the biopod. We'll be able to get a 1 mana copy, potentially of a large Starship. So I'm going to do that. And what's the best way to do this? I want my big guys to die. Like, I'm killing these things on purpose here. So I'm going to have to do it like this. That biopod dies. Kill this biopod. And I think I am just going to launch for damage. I don't think our opponent is going to be able to beat this. It's just too overwhelming with all of the biopods. And I almost roped it out here. These minions, I mean, they have 3 biopods in them. So as they die, it's just going to spew tons and tons of damage across the board. So exactly what we're looking for out of the deck. You can see early game, we just play for tempo, get some Starship pieces out on the board. And then once we get big Starships, we launch them. And typically that just leads to winning the game. We'll see if our opponent can pull a rabbit out of their hat. Both locations down, only 7 mana. And massive amounts of stats and damage death rattles on the board here. Really hard to imagine that they can do anything. And you can see we just overpower them with the big minions. Against Warrior here, could be Control or it could be Dragon Warrior. At the end of the day, I think we're still looking for the same cards in the Mulligan. Schematic, Scrounging, Shipwright, as well as the Elise. Deja Vu in hand, in addition to be able to create extra value, it can just kind of let us know exactly what we're up against in some of these matchups. And we are not going to have to wonder any longer. We are going to be up against Dragon Warrior. And I think I just want to go ahead and get the minion down on the board here. Be able to contest a little bit. It's pretty easy for them to remove this 1 health minion, but we may be able to get a trade here. And then follow it up. And there's no trade available. Scrounging Shipwright. I think I'm going to play the Starship schematic just to see what we can hit. Fellfire Thrusters is good. Lifesteal is good. 1 all does just let us kind of clear the board, but generally speaking, these are not as good as the Thrusters. So we are going to take that. And I'm just going to go ahead and coin out the Scrounging Shipwright here. I'm also going to Shadow Step the Shipwright and replay it. Not a lot of Shadow Step targets here. And I'm just going to bump into the Pedal Peddler. Next turn we can actually just Shatter Shard and hopefully be able to get a trade on this. A little bit of a slower turn from our opponent. We are going to have to full trade with our Shatter Shard, but we're going to be able to remove their buffer. It is going to leave them with a 2-1 and a 5-4 though. Starship schematic. Going to stick with the plan here. We are going to be taking a lot of damage in the early game. We're going to have to try to make something happen. Unfortunately, the Fellfire Thrusters just not going to help us be able to clear their biggest minion. And we may be looking at an early launch situation this game just to try to stay in it. And we see here they have the 3-7, so they got 4 health and taunt on the Stadium Announcer. And we're actually just basically getting run over this game. Not a whole lot that we can do here. I believe that we are actually just dead. We'll check our Starship piece. Yamato Cannon may be able to give us 1 additional turn, but it's still pretty unlikely that we're going to be winning this game. We do hit the best minion. We'll also be able to launch next turn to remove a minion. Still likely just dying, though. Having the lifesteal on the Starship with Rush would potentially be good. Just going to go ahead and play the Nightmare Fuel. See what we can hit here. Our opponent has 8 damage. I think we actually just die to the Windworm. And they are very wisely going face. And we can see that we actually just die to the Precursory Strike.